wanted to talk to you about the On the Other Side. That's the title of your new album. We loved it. So first of all, congratulations, because it's beautiful, and especially for this time and season. There's some sort of melancholy that you can definitely see it in your album. So I wanted to talk to you about On the Other Side because it is definitely an Spanish influence, and of course also from Los Andes and this South American sound. But you can tell that you know Spain.
Yes, I think for me that's always I'm often blending lots of different influences, but there is a strong Spanish influence in the album and in my wider project. I think the flamenco influence on this album is a little more subtle. It appears in particularly in the opening track, On the Other Side. The kind of breakdown middle eight section is kind of playing with bulería rhythms, and palmas sort of feature throughout the record, and it's so often the influence is quite subtle, that flamenco influence. But what I really love about flamenco is how it plays with rhythm, and that was what was so new to me when I first kind of heard it live when I moved to Cadiz. When I was kind of just starting out this project. I'd never heard rhythm like that really, so it was it was really exciting.
Why Spain? I mean, why did you choose to come to Cadiz? And because you actually got to meet Nono Garcia, and he was you've mentioned before that you played guitar with him and tried to maybe get this influence from the flamenco from him. Why did you choose Cadiz and Spain for your sound?
Well, I think I as a kid, my parents kind of quit their jobs for a year, and we did this mad trip to Latin America, which was really kind of life-changing for me. And I think I was about 10 or 11 at the time, and my mum's a teacher, and she was kind of teaching us on that trip. And I think that was really foundational for me. It gave me this fascination with Spanish as a language, and the kind of wider Spanish-speaking world. I think if you have an experience like that as a kid, it does completely blow open your horizons. And so from that moment, I really wanted to learn Spanish. And I think I had some really inspiring teachers back home, but it was, in a way, I planned that trip to Spain alongside a trip to Latin America, to particularly to Bolivia, where I learned the charango. But in a way, planning the trip, I'd been so excited about going back to Latin America that it was kind of, when I was planning to go to Spain, it was kind of in a way less of a priority. But then when I got there, to Cadiz, I was completely blown away by what I found, and I sort of wasn't expecting to fall in love with Spain in the way that I did at that time. I think there's something really special about that corner of the world for me, that corner of Andalusia, which it's just really magical, and there's an openness and a friendliness that is very unlike back home in a way. And I think the music, it was flamenco music, totally blew me away. I'd never seen anything like it, and there's something about the way Andalusian audiences, it's the relationship that everyone seems to have with that tradition, that's so like arraigado, I suppose. Do you say that? It's
sure.
Really entrenched. And yeah, that was really beautiful, and really, I'd never experienced anything like that back home. So I really fell in love with Spain then.
That's great. So it's so happy to hear you say that, because I think that you can tell from your songs, especially the last song from your album, Manhwa Mono, is of course it's in Spanish, but also I think that not just the song, that of course is something that you can tell that it is definitely you're trying to picture Spain when you're playing it and singing it. But I think that the video, the footage is quite, it's a really good choice, because it's something that you can understand better the music with this kind of images.
Yes, so my great friend Javier Lara, he has been directing all the videos for the album, and he's done a lot of traveling for it, but it's all been in Spain and in Las Canarias, and I mean I've actually never been to Lanzarote, or I've never been to Canarias, and I'm so desperate to go now. It's like what I'd read a bit about the kind of landscapes there, and he was really keen to film there, and I've been so blown away by what he's come back from. But yeah, it's I think a lot of there's a lot of reference to deserts in the album, and I love the desert blues of West Africa as well, bands like Tenari Wen, and I think it was kind of amazing to see how much he could explore that within Spain itself. It was really cool, and so searching for those landscapes was really exciting. Yeah.
I want to ask you also, how did this collaboration with Mavika work? How did you get to meet her? Did you approach her, or is it something that maybe you knew her and this came up, or how did it work?
It's funny. We've been friends for a while, and I think we met through a mutual friend, Milena Zavala, who also sings on that song as well. But yeah, you know, me and Mavika, we toured together in Spain. I think maybe a year ago now, maybe a little longer. So that was really fun. But she's part of the London scene with PBSR as well. Those guys do a lot of collaboration, but they're you know, they've been living in London for the past few years, so I met them in London, and yeah, we're really good friends, and it's kind of, I'm surprised that we hadn't tried collaborating before, and it was at the very final stages of the song. I was really piecing together everything in the outro section, and I was like, I can really hear a female voice here, and I sent her the recording, and she really blew me away with what she sent back. It was really, really amazing what she did in that final section, and yeah, I really hope we can do some more stuff together soon. I think she's in Spain right now, having a really great time, I think, in the sun, and writing lots of music at the moment. So, but yeah, she's a fantastic artist. I'm really excited about what she's doing.
She really is. Yeah. She really is. So I know it's a tough question because of the times we are living right now. But what are your plans now? Maybe you're thinking of touring, having some concerts, not just in Europe, maybe coming to Spain. What are your plans?
I think we're all just kind of waiting to see what's going to be possible in the rest of this year. I think it's seeming unlikely that big gigs might not happen this year. But you know, I think got to stay positive, and it's you know, and we've got to adapt as well. I think for me, the thing that's always empowering is that I feel like I can write music wherever I am, and I can always have that creative outlet, which I feel very grateful for, and I think it should feel empowering that even though we can't play gigs right now, I can still work on music and think about the next things.
Definitely. You actually maybe you find yourself in a tough position releasing this album. You actually mention it through your Instagram profile. Was it also not just hard during this COVID situation, but also regarding all the events with George Floyd? Has it been tough for you to release your album? Why do you think would be a good moment to release this?
Well, I think we've had this release planned for ages. So it was, you know, we'd actually pushed it back once already, but it has felt there's so much important stuff going on in the world right now, and I think this week it definitely felt like something really big is happening in the world around these protests, and I think there's you know, when you combine it, I suppose, with the COVID situation, it's all kind of coming together in a really historic way. And I think it's just been really inspiring, the kind of reaction to these events that's been happening online. And I think there's been a very inclusive call for some solidarity and action around it. And I think, it was definitely, I really wanted to make a small contribution to that wider movement that I think is growing with my own platform. But it was definitely, on yesterday when we released the album, it was a strange feeling. I didn't want to, I think it was more, we didn't want to do anything that felt salesy or like it was taking away from a much more important series of events outside of music. So I think, it's really important what's going on, and I think it's really important that we all get behind it. And so it was strange to be releasing something at that time, but hopefully this movement keeps gathering momentum and growing.
Well, if it counts for something, in my opinion, you've been very brave, because I know it's tough, and there's always some people that could have a different opinion as the one you have. But I think that art and music is key to fight what we're living. So thank you for being so brave and releasing your album. And it's definitely something that it's also music that makes you think. I would also wanted to ask you about the cover of your album. Look, Insect is the one behind the cover, right? So we've known him for different arts that he's done for other bands and artists. Are you maybe thinking of having his work also on your tour image, or is something that doesn't come to your mind right now?
Luke is a really incredible artist. I've been so kind of drawn to his work ever since we started this collaboration. It's everything he sends us is so amazing, and it's really helped create this kind of visual world that I find really inspiring as well, which is really great. But we have used his work on tour posters in the past, and I think it's really striking, and I'm sure we'll continue to use it for that sort of thing in the future. Yeah.
Okay. So just the last two questions will be quite quick, okay? I wanted to ask you if you have any preference on the songs that you're including in this album. Is there any song that you're most proud of, or you love them all the same?
I think it's you go through different stages of loving and hating them. I think the song that means the most to me is Papillon. It's a song about a friend of mine, and I think that was it was some ways a difficult song to write, but also a song that came together quite quickly. And I really like how it turned out, and it's I think the most important to me from the record.
And the last question, when you're of course you have so many different influences. I mean, I've been reading and seeing other interviews. You mentioned a lot of different guitar players, but also other artists that you really look up to. But what are the songs that you're listening to right now? If you are about to play a song right now, what would you choose?
I think the artist who I've been really enjoying, who's actually just released his album as well, is a guy called Westerman. He's doing some really interesting stuff. He's from the London scene. I've seen him play a couple of times, and I think he's making really interesting and exciting music. And Milena Zavala as well. Her second record is really special. Some really great influences and a lot of fusion in there. So that's what I'm listening to a lot at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Josh, for your time, and hopefully we can get to see you live soon here in Spain. We can't wait to see you here, actually. So thank you for your time. yeah, so congratulations again on your album, because it's amazing, it's beautiful, and you've made it. So thank you, and hopefully, yeah, we'll see you soon.
Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, well, bye, thank you.
Bye, pleasure. Thank you.